Hi there guys, it's Trevor again. This is my second video for the Global Learning Project. Um, Today I'm just going to tell you about how our interaction went and what I learned about Abdullah during this. So I'll just start things off, got lots to go through. So we started out by just playing Frisbee for a while, and then it was his idea to go get tea and then maybe talk about things by the water. So to start things off, I showed him a picture of my family. I told him about how much they meant to me and just a little bit about them, and I was surprised to see he actually did some research on my hometown and everything, so he knew quite a bit about it and hopes to visit my family one day, which I think would be cool. He was very happy to see my family and was excited to learn a little bit about each one of them. He didn't have any pictures of his family, but that was okay. So I'll start off with his school day. So he lived in a dorm all through high school, actually 500 miles away from home. And then he'd start each day off by working for 45 minutes, even before breakfast. And then after he worked for 45 minutes, he'd go to breakfast, and then school would start at 8:45. School would end at 4 o'clock. School actually wasn't the huge deal to him when he was in high school. Work and getting ready for the Olympiads was the biggest deal out of anything. So after school ended at 4, he'd play soccer for an hour with his friends. And then he'd work from 5 to 6, and then ate dinner from 6 to 7, and then he'd work again from 7 to 9. So you might be a little confused on what work is for him, so I'll explain that a little bit. He worked to implement ways to find solutions to algorithms. So basically he worked with his friends, and they would present at the end of the year at the Olympiads, which was a huge deal. They go through eliminations, and if you make it all the way, then you go to internationals, which means you have the potential to win a medal, and with that you can earn a spot to any public university in the country. And Abdullah ultimately earned that medal after he made it to Olympiads. He avoided all the eliminations, which is something he glowed about when we were talking. It was a big deal to him and his family. So that was super exciting. So he got to represent Turkey in the 2011 Olympiads, which was in Thailand, and then the next Olympiads in Italy, he actually also got to go. So now I'll talk about a few worries he had in high school. His biggest worry was winning that medal at Olympiads. It's like what they prepare for. And then he was also worried about being challenged by his instructors. I can relate to that. That's one similarity we had in common as far as high school. One of the very few we had in common. And then the last one was kind of funny to me. His third worry was not being able to watch league matches because he was working. So soccer is a huge deal to him and his friends. So when they had to work during league matches, it was kind of a bummer. So that was his third worry. Things that made him happy throughout high school was watching movies on weekends with friends. They're slam-packed, as you saw during their schedule during the weekdays. So weekends were a chance to sit back and relax. Being able to play more soccer on weekends, so a little more time for exercise and getting outside. And then the third thing that made him happy was seeing his family on holidays. So obviously he lived 500 miles away from his family, so holidays where he got to go home for a week, he explained, was very nice. Okay, so the important test was, for him, the Olympiad. For most people in Turkey and in his high school was the exam, which is kind of like the ACT, just a lot bigger deal, which allowed you to get into colleges. But the Olympiad, since he medaled, it automatically got him into any of the universities in the college. The thing that shocked me about this was all the preparation they put into it. So before this exam, which was part of the elimination process for the Olympiad, he started prepping for that and studying for that 4 to 5 weeks in advance. They wouldn't go to high school during that 4 to 5 weeks. They would just study. They put in at least a bare minimum of 9 hours a day working or studying, which I can't even imagine. He said the most hours he ever put in a day was 16 hours in one day, which is just incredible to me. But 4 to 5 weeks of 9 hours every day of studying, good for him. I don't know if I have it in me. So he's just glows about it when he talks about it, which is very cool to me. So just my final thoughts and reactions on my interaction. It wasn't anything like I expected. It went great. I hope he can come visit my family and I one day up north in Boyne City. He seemed very excited for that opportunity, and just that it just makes me admire his culture and him so much, that he works so hard to be where he is today, and he deserves the world because he truly put in the work for it. I can't even imagine having to work that hard for something year after year after year. So I'm excited to learn more about him. We're out of time today, but I'll see you next for interaction number 2.